I'm Anil Kumar, and here is a test question based on quadratic applications. We'll relate distance, speed, and time. Two cyclists, Kim and Jacob, are heading towards Edmonton. Kim travels 240 km from the east across the prairies. Jacob travels 180 km from the west through the mountains. Jacob's average speed is 6 km less than Kim's, and he takes 3 hours longer to make the trip. How long does each travel? So first thing which you should know is the relation between distance, speed and time. This triangle is really helpful to remember. So distance is speed times time. Or you can write time is distance divided by speed. Since we are really interested in figuring out how long does each travel, that means time, right? So let's see about Kim. So as far as Kim is concerned, Kim travels 240 kilometers. So distance for Kim, let's say dk, is 240 in kilometers. And as far as the speed is concerned, let's say speed for Kim is x kilometers per hour. In that case, time taken by Kim will be distance by Kim over speed by Kim. Is it okay? Which is 240 over x. Similarly, we can work for Jacob. So for Jacob, distance is how much? Jacob travels 180 kilometers. So let me write the equation straight. 180 kilometers. And Jacob average speed is 6 kilometers less than Kim. Less means x minus 6. Does it make sense to you? So that becomes the time taken for Jacob. Let's call this as jk. Both times are in hours. Is it okay? So we got time taken by both. Now we also know how they are related. Jacob's average speed is 6 kilometers less than Kim's, and he takes 3 hours longer. That means Jacob's time, I should say time for Jacob minus time for Kim is 3. Correct? So this is time for Jacob. Time. This is time, right? Time for Jacob. Okay. Let me write down here. So time for Jacob is 180 over x minus 6. When you take away Kim's time, which is 240 over x, you should get 3 hours. So that is the equation to work with. We can take common denominator. So we get 180x minus x minus 6 times 240 equals to, okay, we'll do it in 2 steps. Let me first take common denominator, x minus 6 times x. Now I will cross multiply and expand this. So we get 180x. Here we get minus 240x, minus minus becomes plus. 6 times 0, 6 times 4 is 24, 2, 6 times 2, 12, and 2, 14 equals to 3 times all this, right? So it becomes 3 times x square minus 6x. Let's bring all the terms together, taking these terms to the right side, opening this bracket. 3x square minus 18x. Bringing these terms, we have minus 180x. And then we have plus 240, all signs will change with x, and minus 1440 equals to 0. So we have 3x squared, and let's combine these terms. So minus 18, 240, let's start with 240 minus 180 minus 18. Is it okay? Which is 42. So we get plus 42x and we have minus 1440 equals to 0. Now, you could take 3 common. Let's take 3 common. It helps, I think. X squared, 314x. 3 times 4 is 12, 24, 60 equals to 0. Correct? So let's use quadratic formula to figure this out. So we can find what x is. Let's use the space now. So x is equal to minus b, which is minus 14, plus minus square root of 14 square, minus 4 times a, which is 1, and c is minus 460, divided by 2 times a, which is 1, right? So we are doing with this part. Is it okay? So we have minus 14 plus minus. Let's calculate. Within the square root, we have 14 square plus 4 times 460 equals to. Okay, so that is kind of a decimal number. From this, okay, let's write down this as 2 over square root of 519 over 2. Let's calculate this out. So we can take away 14 from this number. Minus 14 equals 2. And then divide by 2. Divide by 2 equals 2. In decimals, it is equal to 15.56. Is it okay? So x is 15.56 for us. Since we know that x is 15.56, we can find both the times. Correct? So let's say time for Kim will be 240 by x. Let's write down. Time for Kim will be 240 divided by 15.56. Let's calculate this. 240 divided by 15.56 is equal to, in decimals, approximately 15.4, let us say. And for Jacob, so time for Jacob will be 180 divided by 15.56 minus 6. Is it okay? So we do 180 divided by, within bracket, 15.56 minus 6. And that gives us approximately 18.8. So as you can say, we did some approximation in rounding this. So basically it is like 15.5 and 18.5 hours, right? So the units are in hours. So approximately we can write down our answer as 15.5 hours and let's say 18.5 hours, right? We could take one more decimal place to get to almost that answer. Is that okay? 15.5 hours and 18.5 hours. So that is how you could solve such questions. I hope it makes sense to you. This is a very important question from test point of view. Go through it once again. Feel free to share your comments and your views. If you like, that'll be great. Thank you and all the best.